Greetings, Legionnaires, and welcome to the Wrestling Legion review for SmackDown on the 4th/5th of February 2023. I'm Nick the Geek. It's good to be back. I'm glad to see you all. Let's just get on with the show. So, show starts with an opening of the end of the Royal Rumble, the beatdown of Sami Zayn. Still, I've got to remember, probably the best pay-per-view ending of the last 10 years in WWE. Just absolutely superb. Got everybody on their seats, and we're really waiting for tonight. After the intro, we came to Kayla Braxton. She was stood outside waiting for the Bloodline to arrive. The Bloodline arrive, but there's no Jey Uso. Kayla asks Roman any news on Jey? What's going on? Roman just shrugs her off and walks off. Paul Heyman walks up to her, says, "What a cold question for such a warm lady." But the future of Jey Uso in the Bloodline is up in the air, according to Paul Heyman, which is a very interesting take. I've always considered Jey the main character in this story. The Bloodline started with Jey Uso. I figure it's going to end with Jey Uso. But moving on with the show. After this, we had our first match, open up fast. And it was Braun Strowman and Ricochet in the final of the Contender Tag Team Tournament versus my boys, Imperium. This match was exceptional. It went through 2 breaks, I believe. Just really good tag team wrestling from Imperium. I'm just going to go on about them for most of this match, to be perfectly honest. I think Braun and Ricochet did a good job. Ricochet especially showed out as much as he could, but Imperium's fluidity and their sheer cohesiveness as a team really shined through in this match, even though they were on the losing and the back foot for most of it. I personally believe they held the match together. But it's a fantastic match, lots of back and forth. Imperium with lots of double teams. Braun using the power game to get the advantage as per usual. Lots and lots of back and forth between the two teams, like just an unreal amount of back and forth. Ended with Imperium going for the Imperial Bomb, but they failed. Braun comes in the ring, hits the Monster Bomb on Giovanni Vinci, tags Ricochet. Ricochet climbs up on Braun's shoulders and then does a swanton bomb off Braun's shoulders onto Giovanni. Great finish to a match. Braun and Ricochet win the tournament. So next week it's Braun and Ricochet versus the Usos, under the assumption that Jey shows up. Really good finish. Thought it was an exciting match. It was a good way to kick off SmackDown. There was no real flaws in this, except for the fact that there were 2 advert breaks, but that's American television for you. After this match, we move on. What do we move on to? Checking the notes, people. Oh yeah, then we went to a progressive match flow. Now, I usually hate these things, but I believe this one was done really well, and it all focused on Rhea and her run through the Rumble. Couldn't be happier that Rhea Ripley won the Rumble. Right woman, right time, right year. Perfect person to go for it. And I personally am over the moon that she's challenging Charlotte Flair, because there's a story to be told there from WrestleMania a couple of years ago when Charlotte challenged Rhea for the NXT Championship and Charlotte won. So Rhea's got revenge on the mind. It's going to be a fantastic match. Just superb. After the progressive match flow, what do we have? We had a Charlotte Flair interview. Charlotte was backstage talking about how she's excited for WrestleMania. She's excited to face Rhea Ripley again. And then she was interrupted by Sonya Deville. And Charlotte basically said, "Doesn't matter, because I'm going to focus on you tonight." And Sonya was going, "Well, you can focus on who you want, but I'm going to WrestleMania. I'm going to win the title, and I'm going to face Rhea Ripley, not you." It goes off. Charlotte laughs it off. It carries on. We then went to our third break of the evening. After this, we had another still shot Royal Rumble recap of just highlights of the whole show, everyone's entrances, everything else. It was a fantastic card, fantastic show, so I don't blame them for driving this down everybody's throats. After this, we had this was weird. Now, everybody knows about the story between Rey Mysterio and his son Dominic at the moment, which we're all assuming is going to lead to them having a WrestleMania match of some kind. Well, this week is the start of the Daytona season over in the States, and Rey and the New Day were at one of the tracks with one of the drivers, just doing things over, and then out of nowhere, the Judgment Day show up with another driver who's a young up-and-comer, and he's facing the older guard of Daytona in the way, and Dom just starts running down Rey. Rey starts saying, "Do you want to get spanked like you were when you were a child?" And then they had a race. which is very strange. They had a stock car race, which Ray won. Very weird segment, but fun. And it continues the story of Dominic and Ray in an unexpected way. So I'm absolutely fine with it. But I'm not sure where they're going to go with this. As I said, I'm assuming it's leading to a WrestleMania match. But we could be entirely wrong. After this segment, we went to our second match of the night, which was Sonya Deville versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This match was very good. This match was a showcase for Charlotte, let's be honest. Sonya did a good job. She got a decent amount of spots in. But this match was all about Charlotte, and she won rather quickly with the figure eight. Tremendous match, really quick, but very well put together. Charlotte is an exceptional professional wrestler. Sonya Deville is very underrated and delivers when she's supposed to. Charlotte won, of course, with the figure eight, because we have that Rhea Charlotte match coming up at Mania, and they're not going to jeopardize that for anybody else. I thoroughly enjoyed the match. I thought it was a good filler for the show. Good showcase for Charlotte. Sonya looked strong. No complaints. It was really, really good. After this, we had our fifth break of the evening. We then moved to a Cody Rhodes promo. Now, everybody knows Cody Rhodes is my favorite modern day wrestler. I think Cody's the best storyteller in the industry, and I cannot wait for him versus Roman at Mania. It's going to be exceptional. Great promo package. Showed his promo package from before the Rumble, showed promos from the Rumble, showed his win of the Rumble. It was really good, helped everyone realize who Cody is, where he's supposed to be going, where he's positioned on the card. After this, we had a Bloodline segment. Roman was backstage with Jimmy, Solo, and Paul Heyman. Sat there looking very annoyed. He asks Jimmy, has he seen Jay? Jimmy's like, nah, I haven't heard from him, man. And Roman's like, this is ridiculous. Like, does he not understand how much pressure I'm under right now? The role that I have to fulfill. I feel like I'm being pulled in two different directions when I should be focusing on one. So I'm going to ask you again. Have you seen your brother? Jimmy turns around and goes, I'll tell you again, Oos. I ain't heard from him. So Roman then gets angry and sends Jimmy and Solo off to find Jay. Segment ends. We then come past this. After the Bloodline segment, we had our third match. Well, we had one of the entrances for our third match. We had we had the Butch and Ridge of the Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders. This match was fun. But before this match got started, we had our first Black History Month segment of the year, which was all about Kofi Kingston, his rise to the championship, his career in general. It was a really well put together segment. I really enjoyed it. It's good to get the highlight on these guys that have worked their arse off for years, regardless of skin color. Kofi deserves recognition, and I'm really glad they started the Black History Month segments with Kofi, because he's been very important to WWE over the last 11 years. He's been a very major player, and it's good to see him getting the recognition he deserves. After this, we got on to Ridge and Butch versus the Viking Raiders. This match was brutal. Very hard hitting from the start. I honestly thought the Viking Raiders were going to decimate them because they're being pushed very hard at the moment, obviously, for the future match with Drew and Sheamus. But this had a lot of back and forth yet again. Butch got a lot of joint manipulation in. Ridge got to show off his power. He hit a great tiger suplex at one point, an inverted tiger suplex at one point, which Michael Cole called belly to belly. But it was a tremendous match. Ridge got to show off his power. Butch got to show off his technique. He hit a Hurricane Rana on Eric off the top rope, which was fantastically done. Really, really good. Eventually, it turns around. The Raiders just take over and just dominate. Big knees, big clotheslines, big slams, everything you need. They then look over to Sarah Logan. They pick Butch up. They hit Butch with the Ragnarok, the double powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Viking Raiders win the match. Really enjoyable match. Like I say, just these two teams work is the best way I could put it together. The Viking Raiders, War Machine, whatever you want to call them, have been a tremendous team now for about 15 years. Dominated Japan, dominated Ring of Honor, dominated on the indie scene. So it's really good to see them being pushed as a dominant force in WWE. I expected them to win this match. They did win this match while they were making their exit to the ring. Drew's music hits. Sheamus and Drew come out. Unlike the other week where the Viking Raiders hit them from behind, Sheamus and Drew waited for the Viking Raiders to turn around, then hit them in the face. Really good match. Just, hello, Courtney. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Anyway, what was that? Yeah, really good match. Really good beatdown from Drew and Sheamus, who got really hot at the end. The Viking Raiders skirt off through the entranceway. Drew and Sheamus ripped the shirts off, stand there looking for a while. Really good. I'm really looking forward to the match between Drew, Sheamus, and the Viking Raiders. I think they're going to beat the toss out of each other. So it's going to be good. It's going to be thoroughly enjoyable. I've enjoyed this feud so far. I like the fact that Butch and Ridge got to interject themselves into it before they got to Sheamus and Drew. I'll give this match about an 8 out of 10. If I had to give it a rating, it was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it myself. After this match, we went to our 7th break and then an NXT Vengeance Day promo. Vengeance Day is, of course, tomorrow. Stupid name for a show, Vengeance Day. Just call it Vengeance. You used to have a pay-per-view called Vengeance anyway, so why don't you just call it Vengeance? Baffles the brain. But it's Vengeance Day, so what are you going to do? Personally, looking forward to Grayson Waller winning the title. Fingers crossed. I assume the New Day are going to retain at Vengeance Day. I wouldn't put the belts back onto Pretty Deadly or Gallus, and I sure as hell wouldn't put the belts onto the guys from... I don't really watch NXT, so I don't know who they are, but the dudes in the university jackets, like, they do not appeal to me in the slightest. And I love New Day. So, and I'm hoping they can bring some more recognition to the NXT tag titles before they lose them. After this, we went to a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match recap. Now, if there was one downside to the Royal Rumble this year, it was Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It's a shame because the feud they've been building up to this match was really, really good. LA Knight did so much of the heavy lifting on the microphone. Bray did a lot of Bray stuff. And it ended with a shot of Uncle Howdy jumping off and completely missing LA Knight as he went through the stage. After we have shots of this, we cut to Bray from behind in a rocking chair. Then Uncle Howdy puts his hand on his shoulder and then goes to the camera. Okay, what are you going to do? It is what it is. We'll see where Bray is going to go from here. I myself am a big fan of Bray Wyatt, but I am starting to lose faith in this storyline. I always thought that the whole point of Bray's character was he was schizophrenic, and Uncle Howdy was a figment of his imagination. The moment they gave Uncle Howdy form, it kind of fell off for me. And if it wasn't for LA Knight's work in the last couple of months, I don't think anyone would have cared about Bray Wyatt's match at the Royal Rumble, even though it was his first match on pay-per-view since WrestleMania 37, 2 years ago, against Randy Orton. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about the Rumble, here to talk about SmackDown. We then went from Mountain Dew Pitch Black match recap to our 4th match, which was a Elimination Chamber qualifier, fatal 4-way, between Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, or just Shotzi, Natalya, and Selena Vega. All of which was going for a place in the Elimination Chamber. We have already Asuka, Raquel Gonzalez, Liv Morgan, and Nikki Cross already in the chamber because they were the last 4 women eliminated for the Rumble. I'm under the assumption and the hope that Asuka wins the Elimination Chamber match because I really want Asuka versus Bianca at WrestleMania. I think they will tear the house down. There we go. That's Courtney. But this match was okay. This match was good for the first maybe 5 minutes. Because the first 5 minutes was Shayna Baszler beating the snot out of the other 3 girls. And for a while, I was thinking, maybe Shayna's going to win this and we're going to get a repeat of her Elimination Chamber performance from a couple of years ago, but this time Asuka will overcome her eventually. And then Asuka will win. However, I was wrong. This did not happen. Because Natalya won by making Selena tap out with a sharpshooter. This should have been obvious. Elimination Chamber is in Montreal. It's in Canada. They're going to want as many Canadian wrestlers on the card as they can. So even though I'm not a fan of Natalya, as a general rule, not anymore anyway, I think she's past her time. I'm glad she won. It puts a Canadian in the chamber. It's a big pop for the Montreal crowd. And to a certain extent, Natty has worked very hard over the years, so it's good to see her in the match. The match was okay. Like, Shotzi got a couple of good spots in. Selena hit a nice moonsault to the outside. And the sharpshooter that she beat Selena with brilliantly executed, lovely. But it should be after all these years doing the same move. After this match, we went on to an 8th advert break, and then a 9th advert break. And then after this, we had another Bloodline segment. Now, no one can get hold of Jay. Paul's ringing him. His phone's going straight to answer mail. Jimmy and Solo come back in, say they can't get hold of him. Roman sighs, and then he apologizes for Jimmy, and he apologizes to Solo for the way he spoke to him. And he tells him, look, Paul's got a load of catering in this bus. There's steak, there's sushi, there's whatever you want. You two go eat. I'm going to go to the ring. I'm going to handle some business. This was good. Like, Roman is so good at what he does. Like, he has become such a character over the last 887 days of his title reign, which, let's just take a minute there. 887 days in 2023. That is unheard of. Giving anybody a title reign of nearly 1,000 days in this era of professional wrestling and being able to keep that man relevant and necessary and important to storylines all this time is unheard of. And it's been absolute gold now for 7 months. There was a time when it was just Roman, but ever since the Bloodline started, this storyline has been gold for 7 months. I personally really enjoy it. I can't wait to see Roman versus Cody at Mania, as I said. But before we get there, we have a stop-off at Elimination Chamber. Now, Roman comes out to the ring. Cole bigs up his 887 days on the mic. Roman basically stands there, does his usual, Carolina, acknowledge me. And then the entire of the audience starts chanting Sammy. Sammy, 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 Sammy. Roman turns around and goes, well, I was going to ask you who you wanted me to talk about, but I think that's obvious. He goes, because really, I should be out here talking about Cody Rhodes, the man who won the Royal Rumble, the #1 contender, the man who is worth my time. But apparently, you all want me to talk about the past. So, that's what I'll do. So Roman starts talking about Sami Zayn. He says there's 2 sides to every story, so you're going to hit my side. He goes, because I gave Sami Zayn everything. And all he did was use me and use my bloodline and use my island of relevancy to get himself over. As Roman is talking, someone in a hoodie jumps out of the crowd, dives in the ring, beats the snot out of Roman. It's Sami Zayn. Sami he's all right at first. It beats Roman up, but then Roman gets the upper hand because it's Roman. Asks Paul Heyman for a chair. Paul Heyman slides in the chair to Roman Reigns. As Roman turns around, boom, Sami hits Roman with a spear, which I thought was very cool. Sami, by the way, is wearing a new t-shirt, which is very KO in design. It's, instead of saying Sami Uso, it says Sami, and then over the Uso, it says Zayn in tape, which is very much like Kevin Owens' KO Mania shirts. So, little thing there I noticed. Very happy to see it. So hopefully it means that Sami and Kevin will be back on the same page before WrestleMania. Sami then chases Roman out of the ring, goes to hit him with the steel chair. Roman rolls out. Sami gets a mic and basically says, Roman, I never wanted anything from you. Nothing. I never wanted anything from you until now. Because now I'm coming for you. And I'm coming for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. Everyone went crazy. The crowd popped like mental. I understand that Triple H says he doesn't see Sami Zayn as a WrestleMania main eventer. But nobody saw Bryan Danielson as a WrestleMania main eventer. Or Kofi Kingston. And they all proved everybody wrong. So, with any luck, there's 2 nights of WrestleMania, Roman could still do double duty. However, that is unlikely. Because as I predicted on our podcast, the reason they pulled the trigger, in my opinion, on the Bloodline storyline with Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble was because they have to escalate that story and get it finished, and then get a solid month of booking for Cody and Roman, 5 weeks of booking anyway for Cody and Roman before Mania. So, as Roman is being chased off, Sami's demanding a title shot. Jimmy and Solo come back in the ring. They've obviously come back in the arena, and they beat the snot out of Sami Zayn. Like, they waylaid into him. Super kicks, punches, Samoan spikes. They put him in the corner. They put a chair over his head like Solo did to Matt Riddle to take him out. Roman stops him. Roman stops Solo. Gets in the corner and does one of Roman's exceptional talking down to somebody segments where he starts saying to Sammy, oh, you want something from me. You want something from me. Fine. You got what you want. Because I want you in Montreal. I want you in Elimination Chamber. Because you used my family. You broke up my family. My right-hand man isn't here because of you. So in Elimination Chamber, I'm going to beat you down. I'm going to smash you. And I'm going to do it in front of your family, in front of your friends, and in front of your countrymen. And then Roman just stands there, Paul hands in the belts, stands there posing. The show goes off the air. I'm ecstatic. Sami Zayn is going to get the most Road Warrior pop I think we've heard in years in Montreal. I really do. I'm super excited for Roman versus Sami. A lot of people seem to have forgotten that not only is Sami Zayn probably the best pure babyface in wrestling, he's one of the best in-ring workers in wrestling, and he hasn't really had a chance to show that in the last 7 months because of the character he's been playing. Him against Roman is going to be a barn burner. I'm telling you now. Pardon me, Roman will win, of course, unless Kevin Owens has something to do with it, but I truly believe Roman will win that match. However, I think Sami's going to have a fantastic showing, and I'm really, really looking forward to Elimination Chamber now. It's going to be great. Like, just US title Elimination Chamber, fantastic. Women's Championship qualifier Elimination Chamber, fantastic. Roman versus Sami, fantastic. I don't even care what you put on the rest of the card. It's going to be great. What are you saying here, Court? I've been waiting for this for so long. We all have, Courtney. We've been waiting for 8 months now for this match. And finally, it's here. It's what the fans want, which is very rare. It's exactly what the fans want to see. Roman versus Sami, one-on-one. It might not be at Mania, which is what a lot of people wanted, but Elimination Chamber for me is good enough because I want Cody versus Roman at Mania. That's just me. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the show. That was SmackDown on the 4th/5th of February for 2023. I've been Nick the Geek. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Courtney, love you. Thanks for being here. And remember, if you enjoy what we do here at Wrestling Legion, join the Legion. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Give us a like. It really helps us out. We're a new channel. It's the only way the algorithm really knows we exist. And it's fantastic to have anybody here. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Nick the Geek, and I'll see you next week. If I can ever find the outro.